be fine.
Hello and welcome to Take the Throne week number 8. This is the semi-final, or the best of one, between StartedFromCS and FABRIKEN. My name is John Allen. With me is Ryan. We're getting straight into the action, Ryan.
StartedFromCS versus FABRIKEN is the first best of one game. Winner of this will go up against the Kings, Hip Hip Hip, who recently admitted that they're breaking up. I think they're still going to be taking part in this tournament for as long as they are the Kings, but it's the end of an era for these guys, just playing in this tournament. But I've got two very scary teams lining up. The first is going to be FABRIKEN, who are attacking currently. Do like to run without the Sage, but we'll talk about that as the day goes on. Up against StartedFromCS, all of the teams involved today are some of the best in the EU region, if you aren't aware.
Akuma to take face on defense, hiding in the smoke. Bayaz got his back beautifully, able to land the shot, but Meadow gets the better of Akuma, and Bayaz is cleared off the site as well. Latex able to take him down, and holding up in the tube, goes down to 10, and will find another bullet sent his way. Trade 1-for-1 once more, and the attack is now up a player, but that's short work of. Saipan going to be able to take one down. A nice headshot from Maniac, though, gives them the advantage once more, but it's equal. It's so back and forth in the pistol, and it's anyone's game. Fault line is out. Will find the mark. Maniac ducks down, hits the floor, reduces that vision radius, but it's not going to matter. The head's still big enough to click.
And it was just in the nick of time too. ShadowLaw's getting a frag there. Was super low on health, but still managed to win that engagement up against Maniac that's on the Sova. Like I sort of mentioned, these are some of the better teams in Europe, especially FABRIKEN, who have been absolutely on a roll recently, winning the Rise of Titans tournament last week and qualified for the Vitality tournament this weekend. Unfortunately, StartedFromCS were unable to do that, as were Hip Hip Hip. But I do think that FABRIKEN are not only favourites of winning this game, but also winning the King. I suppose winning the crown it would be. Meadow is an awful crosshair. Look at this.
I hate it. It's the worst thing that has ever happened, I think. Just bar none. There's no exceptions there.
It's a good start, I guess, for FABRIKEN. Started off nicely, do play super aggressively, but they don't have a Sage in their lineup, so they have more aggressive utility. Running the Sova and the Breach in the same lineup, that's a lot of aggressive initiating utility that you can throw on teams, and right now they are spread apart, just want to maybe take 1v1 engagements, but this is a big gamble of a strategy, I suppose, from StartedFromCS, who are all stacking on one site, the B site, completely open.
It looks like they might be rewarded for it, though. A little bit of a counter stack coming in for the attack. Scouting arrow is going to be there. Drones as well. They push on through. Saipan takes first face. Akuma goes down, but it's traded 1-for-1. And with classics, that's pretty good. But unfortunately, ShadowLaw's just puts a stop to it. Immediately goes down in the process, but a triple found on the round, and 2 of them go down. A successful conversion on the pistol.
Probably one of the stronger breaches in the scene. There isn't that many players that decide to sort of keep playing the Breach, to be honest. A lot of people have moved away, but it really suits ShadowLaw's playstyle, considering too that he is the main operator player for FABRIKEN, right? So makes sense for a Breach to use his utility aggressively, but stay relatively sat back, right? You don't tend to push in super aggro like a Reyna or Phoenix does. So that synergy between the Breach and the operator works out really well for FABRIKEN. The operator not in play just yet, but I can't imagine it being too long before ShadowLaw's can actually afford an operator. And StartedFromCS need to maybe take a bit more caution when fighting these guys. But right now, FABRIKEN did pretty well.
They're holding up, and they're playing this one slow. I think both teams are really trying to make sure that they have everything in order. Got all their face traded 1-for-1 on the defense. This is going to give them a lot of information. They are going to get this spike planted as well. The Molotov does get a kill, so they're up a player on the defense. They have got that Sage as well, remember, so go for the heals, but in comes the Rolling Thunder. Not really going to have too much impact, though. Only finding one. Playing from Lamps is walled off entirely, and a lovely headshot comes through. They're able to clear out Lamps. One more player holding it there, though, and they're going to know that he's there. Flashpoint sent out, and Kuma, beautiful 180 and back to trade it off, but Meadow from the baths, half HP, but he's already found two. Will get shut down, not quite just yet, but the spike is diffused.
I don't imagine the money's going to be too bad, however, for FABRIKEN. They did get a bit of a bonus round, to say the least, so imagine a lot of big guns start to come through, but really good retake from StartedFromCS that just edged further forward, retaking some of that space back on the A site, and FABRIKEN weren't really set up for it. They kind of got stuck in a lot of awkward spots, and it was really easy for StartedFromCS to just come in and clear the site completely. Unfortunately, there was only so much Meadow could do, but like I mentioned, ShadowLols now running the operator. Be interested to see how it works. They do have an orbital strike if they want to clear out U-Haul if they're pushing onto the A site, but I think they're going to take this relatively careful. Lord knows what's going to come at them with StartedFromCS.
Goodness me. I'll tell you what, I was thrown off by the French voice line in the last round. But they're not going to be thrown off at all. Two players going down, 1 for 1 so far. Oh, the orbital strikes coming through thick and fast for both teams. Going to slow things down, but the spike has already managed to make it to pocket. We'll be able to get on site as well using the cover of those smokes. Currently, it's a 1 for 1 trade on the round with the paint shell not really finding too much. They needed a little bit more in the retake on even footing here, Ryan.
Latex isn't actually taking any form of damage from this molly. He's going to be sat quite nicely. Just need to control a lot of this space. There is a bit of a double peek happening towards this side, and it's nice from Akuma taking that space. Meadow is still harassing people in the bathhouse, and Akuma's position given up by the Sova. No ultimates available, but Leo and Meadow are still managing to get so much done. Just up to Akuma now. They know roughly where he's going to be. Going to try and go for the retake. Can they actually clear it out? Really nice play from FABRIKEN to just make sure they had control of that site, but it is really going down to the wire, literally, when it comes to this spike and the replants coming in.
Managed to pick up the operator again as well, so Quid's in for the attack. And this time around, it was on even footing. It wasn't the case that we saw last round where they managed to get that extra kill from the Molotov on the spike plant. This time around, it wasn't as effective, and that extra player really just pushed them over the line.
Ah, c'est un bon emplacement.
They certainly matter, and super important to try and work out exactly how these how they could really push their agents to the next level. I think certainly looking at like NA play specifically, there is just kind of, it doesn't matter what agent we're going to play, we're just going to play it like Counter-Strike. This, I do think we are looking at two teams that tried to push the boat out. Maniac played a lot of Omen before people played Omen. FABRIKEN not playing Sage, where a lot of people really feel that you need a Sage in your lineup, otherwise you're throwing. So I really like watching both these teams because they're really there to try and push the boat out, to really teach us all that there's more depth to Valorant than people may be giving it credit for.
They're challenging our premises, Ryan. They're making us think twice about what we think we know, and to be honest, it's working for them pretty well as Zaipan swings the corner. Akuma can't quite land the shot with the Sheriff. Of course, it is an eco on the defense, so anything they can find is a bonus. Trying to limit that economy with the Ghost. Ooh, a lot of damage found, but it's not enough for 4K for Zaipan.
Good stuff so far. Really, you sort of expect FABRIKEN to take the aggressive play. I think that tends to be the bit of the meta on Bind overall, generally. Like, it tends to be very attacking favored and very difficult, I suppose, for teams to try and play retake, really. I think it's been awkward for StartedFromCS when they've been put in that situation. They've done pretty well when they're stuck there, but generally, it's been rather a challenge. Now, Happy can afford the operator and he's going to play a bit aggressively. He's going to run right into Zipan, who is the main entry fragger for that team lineup, and probably the best Raven in the world. No pressure.
Well, fair enough. That's quite the quite the accolade, and he's going to live up to it. Apparently, able to spray down through the wall there, getting a lot done, and will be just dropping that showstopper right on top of Akuma. And this is the gun round that they really needed a win on the defense for StartedFromCS. And luckily for FABRIKEN, they're able to close it down to a 2 versus 5. They have control of the B site entirely. Spike gets planted.
You would expect that Akuma and Maniac are not going to try and retake this. Latex does get a sniff, maybe, of where people could be, but that would just be his own teammate ShadowLols that's holding that angle. Maybe he spotted the body, was like, oh, hold on, guys. Oh, no, wait, never mind. It's just you, Breach. Sorry, bud. But this is a perfect start for FABRIKEN. You'd expect as much, but I don't really think it's a case of, everybody's raving about FABRIKEN at the moment, quite rightly. But StartedFromCS have done decently. They've been certainly one of the more consistent lineups Certainly when you consider the fact that Hip 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 are not really playing anymore, right? So they're probably one of the oldest veteran teams out there now. No doubt some of these players must have got individual offers, but really hard to say. I think both these teams are going to give Hip 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 a really good showing, but it's looking more likely that FABRIKEN is going to be the one meeting there, based off the first 6 rounds at least.
Certainly streaking out into a lead early on. It's going to be pretty difficult for StartedFromCS to come back from this one. Unfortunately, they're really sort of down on their luck at this stage. It's the case where you're looking at sort of essentially a 7-1 scoreline. And now that can read into a pretty decent half, but the comeback is not the easiest thing to achieve here, especially when you're coming up against the caliber player and the bulldozer, really, that is FABRIKEN.
It's just been smart and really taking these engagements. There's a lot of ultimates available for StartedFromCS, so they don't really need to worry too much. And look at all of the space, actually, the existence of Maniac have taken towards A mid. But look at Meda, he's wrapping around. Might get caught out entirely by the raise there, but a lot of space has been taken. FABRIKEN don't realize how aggressively, perhaps, StartedFromCS are playing here. 3 players are starting to push up.
They do have a flank coming through. The smokes have been dropped, so they might have a little bit of a clue. I think they have got an outpost watching out for it, so we'll see how they're able to handle it. But look at this. They've got a cheeky little push coming through from the defense, and it's Bayaz to find a sneaky kill on the sidelines. Finds a second as well with the reclaimed Phantom. I said it was tricky for them to come back into this one, but it seems like they're going to start off in style. He has control of the spike as well, Ryan. This is disaster for FABRIKEN.
And they're completely split up. They're not stacking anywhere, so they've got to take a lot of 1v1 engagements. You can see that the Cyphers are going to run into each other. Meadow manages to survive at least. And not only that, dedicates the ultimate. It's really off-put to hear it in French, actually, because I'm like, what is that? Is that a Cypher talking? But look at this. FABRIKEN are now turning this back around. They've just got to deal with Existence, who is a bit of a last bastion onto this site. But the rest of the team are rotating in, and that spike needs to get planted pronto.
10 seconds on the clock. They will initiate it. Pushing around the corner. Spike gets planted. Tries to pull out the gun. One goes down, but the other not so lucky. Akuma able to shut it out and will be able to pick up those guns. 2 players alive. They'll be able to use that to their economic advantage, and they'll be able to get around on the board as well. StartedFromCS now on 2.
Even rounds like that, FABRIKEN make a clear mistake and get punished for it. They still bring it down to like a 1 versus 2, and honestly, there we could have seen FABRIKEN getting a couple of frags in there with how staggered that peak was right at the end. So it is showing that even though FABRIKEN are making clear mistakes, that the 2 coaches, Emil and Doombros, can look at and go, okay, yeah, let's not do that, guys. That's a bit dumb. They're still making these rounds exceptionally close. And they have a good amount of lead to work with. I imagine their economy is going to be still fairly decent, everybody being able to buy up guns, so they can at least, if they win this round, go into half-time with an even score. But I'm sure they'll want to push the boat out a little bit further, because right now they are controlling the game.
Shadow looking to peek towards long, waiting for anyone to try and cross, but no one is going to step in towards the red dot. Just bide their time playing passive. See the traps all over the site for Bayaz. It's going to be pretty tricky to push on through if they do opt to go to B, but it looks like they are going to select to do just that. The Aftershock will isolate anyone playing towards that teleporter side of long, so they can push up relatively safely.
Maybe a slow burner of a round, I think. StartedFromCS are going to be aware of that. Happy actually gets the first pick up to Zipan. So they know that there's an operator in play on this defense. Shadow is just going to keep an eye on these corners, but you can see on the minimap just how passively they're taking it. In fact, a gap comes through at the right time. Akuma does spot exactly where Shadow is there, but he has going to have the support of Meadow. Granted, Shadow Lulz does go down, so that's an equal trade. But now it's going to be a showstopper that hits the ground, and Bayaz is the one completely opening up the site.
2 kills found for Bayaz. This guy is worth his weight in gold right now to StartedFromCS. Just 1 player left, and Maniac shuts it down. That's 2 rounds on the trot. That has been an absolutely crucial performance from this Cypher on the defense. Lovely to see. When you need to step up, being able to do it is exactly what you want on your squad. And StartedFromCS, they seem to have found their golden ticket.
Starting to pick up the pace a little bit. Might even force, not quite yet, FABRIKEN to go for the eco save, but because they've won so many rounds on the trot, it doesn't seem that they really need to. That they can buy fully and still keep going toe to toe as we reach the latter half of the first half in this game. It seems there's going to be a bit of an aggressive push onto the B side.
Oh, okay. This is a slow push atop the wall, trying to play all those off angles, but that's a lot of utility invested, and the only thing they get back for it is information. The Sage Wall's so important into the later parts of these rounds.
And now that these operators are in play, the tempo of the game is slowed right down. I think certainly the operator is a very meta part of the game generally. But people have been very careful. Maniac has the right idea though. Knows that there are going to be multiple people towards the bathhouse on A. He's going to keep a close eye on it. Is the only one around that corner to stop anybody that comes through in their tracks. The recon bolt is going to fire across to scout out any intel. But look at this, they're ready to aggressively push in, and they do it with a Rolling Thunder.
They started off well as Maniac does go down on the site. Flashpoint around the corner, one found, two found. Happy cleans them out, so there's existence, but the operator not quite quick enough on the flick, and they trade it 2 for 2. However, it's just down to one on the defense, and they're going to make that none. Bayaz falls, and a beautiful take starting out with that Rolling Thunder and just blitzkrieg straight onto the site.
Been enjoying StartedFromCS. They've changed up their roster a little bit when it comes to the agents that they play. Usually we see Happy over on the Sage, right? He's one of the more aggressive players, so kind of is interested to see him playing on the Raze for once. Maniac usually plays Omen, is going to be on the Sova. Just switching up some of the agents that these guys play. Akuma usually plays Breach, but is on Sage duties for this lineup. Seems that there's going to be a bit of a tussle towards the bathhouse on A. Meadows going to be keeping an eye on it alongside Latex. It's going to get pushed aggressively, but they need to be careful of Happy's operator if he still has one.
They are going to know that the Cypher is there. Doesn't manage to hit the dart on the Owl drone, which means that he's going to hold on to that Hunter's Fury for now. Doesn't want to try his luck. 2 players towards A short, but is very spread out, as you're saying, Ryan. They are trying their options in multiple different locations, and the operators may be pretty crucial in that. And in fact, Latex got to find out, you don't want to peek those angles when you know there's an operator coming around the corner. I don't know if they knew that one was going to happen, though. That was an aggressive push from Barth. Takuma finds one as well, an aggressive push from Long, paying off, and it's going very well, but Showstopper comes through. Zipan able to look for it, waits for the top of the wall, but instead they just claim the site, no spike to be seen.
It's an awkward push from FABRIKEN. Zipan's trying to get a lot done, but that wall just protects people that are pushing. They pushed aggressively on this defense from CS to get the kill onto Shadow, but now they've just walled themselves off the site. So this is space that Zipan's able to take, but they need to be careful of CT. It's going to be Existence coming around that corner to peek them. And it seems that they have a rough idea on what's going on, but this is super slow and really needs to be careful, or Existence like that is just going to punish you.
Akuma goes down, so no resurrect available. 10 seconds left on the clock. Oh, Happy, you've got to hit those. You have to land the shot there. The spike gets planted just in time. Not going to peek out just yet. Waiting for it. Playing it slow. Existence from elbow. Knows there's 2 on site now, thanks to that recon bolt. Beautiful information gathered, and they can start to swell on towards the site. Bayaz runs straight on through, finds one. Another one playing behind that box on site outside tube, and it's the classic to finish him off.
Yeah, Bayaz just ran in like crazy, wasn't afraid, but that recon bot that came out of Maniac was pristine. Gave them all of the information that they needed, and really there was nowhere for FABRIKEN to go when they're stuck on that site. They have all of StartedFromCS just wrapping around them, gradually pushing them out, and when you have that kind of freedom, it makes sense why the Cypher's just going to run in and gonna get those frags. So this has been a lot better from StartedFromCS. It looked like it was going to be very one-way, certainly from the first few rounds, but they started to pull it back a little bit. FABRIKEN, it's hard to say how much money they have. We don't have the scoreboard up. It's on the BDS side that's doing the observing too, so I don't know what is. Can you show us the scoreboard more, please? Smiley face in French, but that would be super handy.
I'll tell you what I'm happy to see, Ryan. Now, I'm a Cypher mate, right? So a defense Cypher that is absolutely popping off is one of my favorite things to watch, and Bayaz is doing exactly that. I have to attribute a lot of these rounds to just his balls, mate, honestly. He's got...
J'adore.
he's got cherries the size of plums.
Pas de fuite possible!
Speaking of big gun, ShadowLols having the operator again, not a save, but Maniac is going to punish Latex as the punt was going in. Actually, it was the Hunter's Fury coming out of Leo Dead. It was the shock ball that actually got the frag onto Latex. So both these Sovers stringing together a couple of kills now. The spike is planted, and it seems that this is going to be relatively slow from StartedFromCS. They get the Resurrect out though, but ShadowLols is still cherry picking them down. Misses that shot, really shouldn't have, but the wall is up and they're trying to... And really, there isn't too much to separate them either. It seems that it's going to be another A push. Existence needs to be careful. He's not going to get pushed out here, but actually does get the first pick onto Zipan. Has the orbital strike. He's going to throw it down right onto FABRIKEN, who are forced to back up completely. Nobody else dies. But a lot of damage done. They maybe have to find another site to push onto.
That was a pretty spray transfer there from headshot to Doombert. Turns the corner with a Bulldog, and they just get shut down. Okay. It's turned topsy-turvy all of a sudden, and that's going to be another kill with the orbital strike. No way that you get out of that one, Existence. Latex will be able to open it up yet again. And FABRIKEN, they're turning things around, Ryan. This is not what you want to see on the defense.
It's forcing the rotation to come in from the two surviving members. Well, one surviving member now StartedFromCS. It's all up to Beaz, who does like to play aggressively. He's going to push into U-hole. Leoditz is going to try to scout out exactly where they may be, but Latex has a good idea. Sees the corner, gradually pushes out. 8-4 this side of the first half. And a really nice way for FABRIKEN to start off this game on Bind. They just need to win this game. Then they go up against the Kings, and I think they've got a good chance of taking that too.
Absolutely. I mean, you win this best of one, and you've already guaranteed yourself €1,000, and that's pretty hefty. So, you know, as best of ones go, it's not the most unimportant thing they'll do this week. It's looking pretty good, though, as you say, for FABRIKEN. Unfortunately, they don't have that Sage, and that's where the downfall of their roster will be highlighted for a lot of teams. And really, it's on the defense that the lack of a Sage can really come back to bite you.
Wondering how these guys will play it on the defense. Usually, Sage is relatively strong, certainly walling off or slowing areas down. But I imagine that we're going to see FABRIKEN playing a little bit more passively. You can sort of see it now, just how defensive-minded they are. They're not going to aggressively push. They can't really afford to, so they've got to sort of play for the retake almost, just inviting, I guess, the members of StartedFromCS onto the B-side. Come in, guys, it's fine, you know, put the spike down, and then we'll deal with you. That's kind of their game plan, I suppose, with all of the utility that they have available, to the point that they're just not reacting to this.
Step into my parlor, said the spider to the fly.
Exactly.
It looks like they will be caught in the web for traps going forwards, but it's traded evenly for now, Ryan. They're plucking away at those strings and singing the song of victory for now. Jeez, okay. They're pushing straight onto the site, and they've got control of it. Two players now on the retake. The smoke will give them some cover to cross. Little tip-a-tap of damage sent over towards the breach, but they have the spike, they have the site, and they have all the cards in their hands.
Spike just been planted though, has allowed the rotation to come in. The shock bolt is a good one, but ShadowLols just pokes around at the right time. Is 1 health though, so has to be super careful to the point Existence is going to back off entirely. You could see him and Happy just giving up these space. You could try and go for the defuse, but we know roughly where the spike is. We could just pepper it down if needs be. So they're just going to play from a fair distance. Existence is going to run right into Shadow there. Just took a body shot. He's 1 health. What are you going to do? But this spike isn't going to get defused. There's only so much the meta can do and try, but that with that ugly crosshair is going to try and take that engagement. Lands the headshot. Now just needs to clear 1 more. There's really not going to be enough time. Has to touch a defuse. Happy's got it covered.
This guy's a headshot machine. I really like just racking up these headshots from Happy. He's the operator player for the squad. He's landing it. But unfortunately, they're still 5-8 down. It's not the greatest scoreline, but that's how you want to start off that half on the attack. No slowdowns from that Sage, and that's really crucial on those pistol rounds. I think that, you know, had that Sage been able to drop a slow orb, they might have been slowed down on that B push, but it just wasn't a B.
I think that was one of the areas that they were talking about before, of just trying to fix up some of their pistol rounds to make it more consistent, but I don't think there's too much to worry about, really. If FABRIKEN could get a bit of damage in here, they could really ruin the economy of StartedFromCS's attack. But really, one team has guns, the others don't, so it should be clear on who's got the advantage. It just really depends on how FABRIKEN want to play this. It's relatively aggressive, relatively stacked on this B site. Luckily, they guessed right, and that's the site that's going to be hit.
Wow, okay, they got the flashpoint charging up and the Cypher ready to peek. They've got that camera as well, but that's going to be traded back and forward. Paint Shell's not going to find anything. It lands inside the window. 2 players underneath. Saipan be ready and waiting to receive, but unfortunately, they've already lost one of their teammates. Back to the wall, crosshair to the sky. Trying to shoot up those feet as they dance on over the head. Don't know how effective it's going to be able to be as another player goes down on the defense on B site. With the rotates coming through, this is a really good read coming in for StartedFromCS. They just go straight to A. Yeah,
they left the spike towards market, so they weren't dedicating to too much there. They weren't overthrowing it, so they know that this A site is going to be relatively clear. It's going to be tricky for FABRIKEN to push this. Even then, Happy was there waiting. Meadow gets the frag. But it's now 2 versus 4, and look how aggressively StartedFromCS are going to be playing this now to try and just get those kills, make sure that FABRIKEN can't do too much here. Really isn't too much point in saving. So I would imagine that we are going to see a bit of a tussle towards the B site, even though the spike is on A.
That tussle goes the way of Shadow. Strayaz does fall. One player in the window, waiting for the flank. You should know where he is.
I saw him.
Yeah, did see him, and they're going to hear that one as well. The classic. Trying to laser him down, but he's down to 12 HP. Meadow, though, has the backup, and they are going to be able to take yet another kill. Okay, it's going pretty well. They're not going to be able to get the spike here, I don't imagine, Ryan. They are just going to win it out that way, but the flashpoint is in. Oh, that's unfortunate. Right at the end, they're cleaned up with a Bulldog.
Doesn't matter too much. They will still have to buy fully now and will have the money to do so. So not the end of the world for losing out in those fights. If anything, it just screws over StartedFromCS a little bit when it comes to their money and the guns that they can maybe get, if not this round, maybe the round afterwards, if they do end up losing it. But now it's really important to see how FABRIKEN play this. This isn't a map that they can take lightly. If they lose it, then they're out of this competition, at least for this week. So they really don't have that kind of liberty, I suppose, to mess about a little bit. And especially when you don't have a Sage in your lineup, those mistakes can be punished even more than usual.
Exactly, and it's a good start. So we'll see how they're able to continue it. Because if there's one thing that we know about Valorant is that momentum can be everything. So 2 rounds is great, but can you keep your foot on the pedal? Can you keep it going and just ticking over? That's really the important part of it. Hellfire is available on the attack as well, so they can clear out those angles pretty effectively.
Right now, it's just a case of being patient. Really isn't too much happening over on the A site. They seem to have it locked down. No rotations coming in just yet for FABRIKEN. They are taking it relatively easy, but StartedFromCS are taking up a lot of space, and there's very little to show. They're not being overly aggressive there. Like I said, because they don't have the Sage, they just need to play very passively. The Orbital Strike is going to be used to force Shadow Lulls off that corner. They are going to push onto the site, which is where Bears or Meadows going to meet them. Gets that frag, even when Flash still manages to survive. Currently, it's a 3 versus 4.
They're going for another as well before he's finally traded out. Trying to get out of the window. Happy does finally manage to stumble his way onto the site, and he's going to be able to pick up a couple of frags for it. Now we're into a 1 versus 1 as Happy turns the corner, but Shadow quicker on the trigger. Brings them up to 9. The defense going well for FABRIKEN that time around. Well, I say it went well. It was a little bit ropey there. And they are now 9-6 up.
Really scrappy. Both these teams really do like a tussle. I think they're some of the more disciplined teams in Europe when it comes to a plan and how to execute upon it. But that was very unlike what we're typically used to seeing out of both these teams. It was just a complete scrap on the B side. Luckily, Shadow was the stronger out of the two in a 1v1 with Happy. Not literally, it was just that Happy had less health in that fight, so even a body shot was able to get the kill and frag him on down. But that's just a testament to FABRIKEN on this defense. Look at it now. Meadows, I'm getting out here. You know, he doesn't want to push UK, he doesn't want to push B long. They are just quite happy to let that spike get planted because then they can play aggressively on the retake. They can play aggressive when defending if they play that way.
Gonna send out the Owl drone. But unfortunately, one of his teammates goes down. Akuma with the Ghost, finds two, drops the heal as well. Going to be able to get full HP off that one. A lot of damage found and looking for more.
Akuma just distracted him, really. He took a 1 versus 3 and bought up a lot of time for his team to execute on the B site. Super easy. Meadow's not going to push that. And Meadow, surprisingly, top fragged. Zipan's having a quiet game for his standards, at least. But Meadow is a player that FABRIKEN really do like and did a little bit more damage to Happy, so that's good for them. But it seems that they're going to have to save on this next round, judging by the cash that they have.
Yeah, a double push through the teleporter to me symbolizes just you know the mentality of StartedFromCS right now. They just wanted to clean that round up after losing the one prior to that one. They wanted to make sure that they kept this one in their favor. And with only a 2-round differential now, Ryan, it's down from 4 at the start of the half. They're on the up and up. They've got 3 ultimates as well as that resurrect. So this attack, it could be the start of something beautiful for them.
Definitely, I think this is looking pretty good. I would definitely say from FABRIKEN, but I think StartedFromCS can bring this around. To be honest, like they seem much more comfortable going up against this composition of FABRIKEN run. They seem to have a good idea on how to deal with it. They haven't really had the best results. Like they didn't qualify for the Vitality tournament, did StartedFromCS, so that's a big miss for their standards at least. You know, a good run in the Take the Front tournament would be a great way to have something to look forward to and a great testament to how good you are as a European team. So, I mean, there's a lot to play for at this point and very bad money on the side of FABRIKEN, so they have to play even more cautiously than what we typically expect from them.
This is methodical coming through from StartedFromCS. You can see they're clearing those angles. They're making sure they have control of everything that they need. They drop the molly down in Cubby. Meadow goes down. They checked the angle where he was playing, and they know where Shadow is now. He's in the tube, and in fact, they're even going to chop the neural theft just to make sure they know exactly where everyone is. And there's one player close on the retake. The flashpoint doesn't matter of Baez. He's already got the angle in his mind's eye and just holds down that trigger. Able to get the kill, get the sight, and they're looking good to take the round.
Fléchette électrique.
Wrapped all the way around, puts pressure onto the agents at CT. Just going to be Zipan running away for his dear life, and the rest of StartedFromCS really chasing after this poor little Raze, even a wraparound coming in from Maniac towards Market. It's a last stand, but it does mean that there's only 1 round separating these teams now. StartedFromCS starting to bring it back a little bit. This defense for FABRIKEN looking a little bit looser than their attack.
Has got the shorty, so potential to click face, but I don't really think they're going to be hunting too hard here. 9-8 though is really what we're looking at here, Ryan, and that's a pretty solid performance. Are we feeling the impact of no Sage on defense here?
I think it's just not really going in the way that FABRIKEN are hoping. Granted, they've had to save a couple of times already on this side, so it's been more awkward for them at least. I think they're just sort of struggling to deal with how StartedFromCS want to push these sites in general. I just don't think it's really going to the plan that they're hoping. And this is typically a tight ship that FABRIKEN like to run. So It is super surprising to see them struggling this much. I haven't really seen them struggle like this in a long while, and they've played up against some serious meaty teams in the European region. So this next round, super important for them. They do have a fair few ultimates on this defense, but it's how they string it together that really matters. They want to stop StartedFromCS in their tracks here.
Try and stop them from CS, I suppose. Aldrone taken down in hookah. And there's no information gathered other than they know there's 2 players on site, and well, they probably could have assumed that anyway. Mounting up pretty effectively. Again, 3 ultimates either side. It's looking pretty even, but StartedFromCS with that momentum.
And it's how these 3 players on this A site deal with this full stack push that's going to come in onto mid. The Eldron doesn't actually scout it out, goes through the teleporter. So that's a great opening for them to push on in, and I don't think they're aware of it. In fact, the Orbital Strike is going to catch them out completely. Rotation's going to come in. The spike hasn't been planted just yet, but you can imagine it'll go down fairly soon.
Nice boost coming out from Akuma as iPad finds one, finds the second with the showstopper. Resurrect, however, is available. Rolling Thunder for the retake, hits pretty much everyone. They're trying to push through. Paint Shell is beautifully placed.
Zipan.
5 kills found for Zipan, and they're going to shut it down as well. Latex gets that final kill over on towards Happy, and FABRIKEN just pop out of that woodwork and make it happen.
I mean, that's certainly something that FABRIKEN have been lacking in this match, really. Like, we haven't seen all that much from Zipan, but what a great way to remind... Okay, yeah, fair enough. Zipan is the win condition of FABRIKEN. I get it. Sorry, guys, for forgetting that, really, but comes in at the right moments.
Ça va là. Oui, ça fera l'affaire.
Yeah, that sounds good. We're just having word from our producer about some of the technical difficulties that are going on with the stream, but we should be just all right now. I think I'm going to be without Ryan for just a moment, so we'll be getting on with the rest of the round. Generally, the flow of the round should be pretty familiar to these players by now. It seems like StartedFromCS are going to be just biding their time yet again, playing methodically. That's really what's seen them to victory. And after the loss, that's exactly what you want to be falling back to. You want to make sure that you have those solid fundamentals just kept on board and really playing into your favor. But with only 55 seconds left on the clock now, they're not going to make their push. They're going to mount up for this attack. Orbital Strike to try and slow them down. Not really going to do too much to work there as Existence gets taken down, however. A-Site is now under threat. Luckily, they've got Zipan. The win condition from that last round. We'll be able to find one. Sprays down for a second. Bayaz trades it off, but it's traded yet again, as they are going to go back and forth one more time. And that's going to be the doors slammed shut. FABRIKEN able to take the round. They put themselves up to 11. Very, very close now towards the edge.
Only 2 more rounds for them to go. FABRIKEN looking pretty decent. Like, it's been pretty rough over the sort of the start of this half, at least. They've started to struggle, but they've picked up a bit more momentum. It is looking to force StartedFromCS to force a little bit of a buy, or at least save a little bit of money. It's awkward for them, to say the least. And they're trying to think of a way to push this back. They do have 2 aggressive ultimates that can get some frags enabled on their side, which would be very helpful for them, certainly, to open up this side a little bit. But they're going to sort of push aggressively now towards the B site on Hookah, even dedicating the Elder. A lot of utility, use that Mania. They're going to sort of clear ahead, spot out a couple of people. They haven't used any ultimates, but actually the Hunter's Fury does tag on. But Zipan kills Maniac as he's about to use it. Even does more. The Boobot's getting frags. He's opening up this like completely. He just shuts down StartedFromCS as they were looking to do an aggressive play. Now it's just Akuma that kills Zipan in the teleporter room. He's completely surrounded, wants to pick up the spike, but can rotate over to the A site if needed. So has that freedom, actually deciding against it. Maybe he thinks that that's what FABRIKEN are thinking. But Akuma is about to run into 3 members of StartedFromCS on this corner. He's trying to spread him up the whole lineup. But luckily, Leo Deads doesn't fall down. And that's match point for FABRIKEN.
It was very, very close there on the lineup. Able to get 2. And a little tickle of damage through the body, but you're right, it wasn't to be. That was an unfortunate turn of events, so we're now up to match point. Remember, it's a best of one, Ryan, and the winner of this will be moving forward, taking on Hip Hip Hip, the reigning kings, the reigning monarchs on the throne. I'll be trying to challenge for it. At the moment, though, FABRIKEN looking pretty good to set up and just make it happen. At the moment, they have got the economic advantage, a little bit of a force coming out from StartedFromCS, so we'll see what they're able to do with the limited kit at their availability.
Bear's getting full flash, but still able to get the frag onto Zipan. Can't do too much though. Meadow's going to push up a little bit further, and actually, this aggressively placed defense on the B side that's pushed all the way down B long is still finding a lot of value, to the point now that it's actually forcing a really awkward rotate out of the surviving members of StartedFromCS. It's all up now for Akuma to bring this one back. No more second chances. The Hunter's Fury is going to be thrown in their general direction. They are going to get tagged from this one. Is this going to be the second? No, the dip diving and dodging. Meadow's going to clear it up though. FABRIKEN are going to be going up against Hip 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 in this week's grand final. StartedFromCS, stop.
They are going to be denied access to the throne. FABRIKEN will be the ones to move on forwards. They win out on Bind versus StartedFromCS with a pretty dominant performance on that first half. The second looked a little bit shaky. There were definitely openings there that were taken advantage of. However, when it mattered, Zipan stepped up and absolutely denied them access to that A site and to the finals as well, Ryan.
I mean, like I said, you expected it to go that way to an extent. I would have expected StartedFromCS to play a little bit closer, more down to the wire. I think they are a team that they're pretty much the bar. Any team that's better than StartedFromCS are some of the better teams in Europe. Everybody else is just generally average, so to speak. But StartedFromCS, certainly one of the consistent lineups, but they are playing an in-form FABRIKEN, the factory in Swedish, and they are very much a tightly run machine right now.
Absolutely. They're doing phenomenally well. We'll see if they're able to stand up to the might of Hip Hip Hip, the team that was from France, as it says on Liquipedia. It'll be interesting to see if they're going to be able to keep it together and hold on to that title. But when we come back, we'll be having that best of three, Ryan. We'll be getting to see just how these two teams are going to stack up. We've already played Bind, so we won't be seeing that again. We'll see what we have in store after the break.